All right, so are you ready? We can get started now.
Yes, let's get going. I'm ready to go.
Okay. All right, guys, let me get my recording and then we'll start. So, will you be sharing your screen?
I had not planned to, but again, depending on the questions and what we're going to go over, I mean, I'm definitely open to do whatever we need to do. I guess
Okay.
the biggest thing that I guess the biggest thing that I like to say is, just prepare what you'd like to know and what questions you think are more relevant, and we'll go right into it.
Okay, sure, no problem. So, let's get started. And my recording is here. All right. Good day, everyone. Welcome to another AME. And today we will be having Dogemackenzie. And so, we'll hand over the floor to Starfish. He's going to lead us into the project, give us an insight into his project. So, Starfish, start off by giving us a brief introduction about yourself and your team members.
Definitely, thank you very much for having us. We really appreciate it. So, I guess the best way to start is to give you a little bit of background about the actual project itself. The project is the brainchild of, you could say, many friends that have come together to try and make a difference. And we've definitely made differences in the world, in our own lives as well, in different projects that we have done. But in this scenario, we think that we can actually create something that will bring benefit not just to ourselves, but to everyone that is involved in the project, whether you are an investor or you choose to partner with us, or I mean, there's many ways, there's lots of things that we have planned. Again, I'll try the best I can to get into them now without uh, exposing or giving away too much intellectual property, but I do the best, like I said, the best that I can to give you a great scenario. But the goal here is that we want to build the project around the community, build the community, and ultimately benefit this community. um, So, going back, I guess I could say that most of these, and I guess most projects you see now, they're all coming out with very similar utility, which is the NFT, which is the swap utility, the liquidity slash staking pools, etc. Again, that's not. Those are great utilities, and in fact, those are many things that we have planned ourselves that are in our roadmap. Um, But the way that I see it is you can have the greatest utilities in the world, make the biggest promises, but in the end of the day, if you're not live, or in the end if the project goes down or rug pulls within the first 10 to 20 minutes, then what was the point of all of the utilities, right? In my opinion, is bait. It's a bait to bring in investors to get their money and then be able to cash out, which is why we like to point and look at the roadmap and the tokenomics of how we've built this project. So sorry if I go on tangents. Again, stop me if if you want to add something or interrupt me, that's okay. I just try to give you a scenario of like why we've built this out and what was the purpose. But the main purpose is, again, to benefit the community, to benefit the people that are involved, and to keep this stable. So, coming back to the tokenomics, as I mentioned, um, the if you look at most projects are going to put less liquidity in the actual project, and most are going to take more in marketing or more in other locations. We chose to keep the reflections at 1%, because the higher the reflections, the more you can destroy your own charts, because in that scenario you're essentially giving free or minting free tokens, and then people can sell it on the market and just completely ruin the project. Now, couple that with the fact that there's no liquidity, then you completely destroy this project. So my point is this: we chose to go with 6% liquidity. So from these sales, we actually are injecting way more liquidity than most of these projects that you see out there. So we're basing ourselves on real metrics and real numbers to keep the actual project alive. Now, then in that and then sorry to one step back. It's 10% total in tax. 6% goes to liquidity. 3% goes to the actual marketing wallet. 1% goes in back into reflections to all holders. That 3%, the goal behind that is to responsibly actually gain access to that 3%, and apply it to the correct places, not to the team. Just to understand, the team doesn't need to pull this money to make money. This is not the goal. The goal is to actually use it for marketing, use it for outreach. We're currently in talks, for example, with a certain charity that I won't get into very specifically, but they actually create wells in their country, and so we've partnered with them in different projects before, just as personally, not as an actual like token. And so now we're gonna within the next month, we're gonna formally have that setup where it allows us to start helping them. And that is our goal. Our goal is to create outreach. It's not that we're charity. It's not charity. It's just the fact is the community. It'll always come back to the exact same thing, the community. And so the purpose of that marketing is for that reason, to get the brand out, get the name out, and outreach to those people. For example, the scenario of the actual the contest of us allowing people to create and bring in their artwork, we plan to expand that. That was again just a scenario to give people the ability to, I mean, for example, not many people will be able to buy. We totally understand that. Again, that's why, if you notice, we're not sitting here telling you buy. What we're actually telling you is to come join, learn. I mean, the ultimate goal is to educate the community on what this is, what is crypto. And as you know, crypto gets a bad name because people use it for many like different reasons, but bad actors end up using this. And so the goal is educate and assist in many different ways. So again, that's what I'm trying to get at, is our goal is the community, the outreach, and build that around there. So okay, with that in mind, I'll get into some of the utilities, but the point is the basis of the project is to get started, go live, and stay alive. And so if you look at the numbers on Panda Sale, which is where the actual launch pad, again, back to the scenario, if you look at, we've locked our liquidity for 6 months, which is it's going to stay there for like 6 months. We had already spoken with some of the representatives just to see what we could do after the 6 months, because we'd like to keep that locked in there. The goal is not to unlock it. The goal is to keep that locked, because the longer the liquidity is locked, obviously the project stays alive. There's no reason to move it. That's the whole reason. So again, look at the numbers, and what you'll end up seeing is that what we put into place is going to give us immediately from whatever the sale generates 80% straight to the liquidity. The rest goes to the live sale piece of it. But my point behind this is, if you look at the way that we've structured the actual sale, there will be no whales. If when people come in and start to buy and buy, let's say the maximum of 1,000, what you're going to start seeing is that the number of the rate that is given for each Doge begins to reduce. And the reason behind that is just, by the way, what's very amazing product that Panda Sale has come up with, it actually makes the sale fair, so that when everybody launches, I could put 1,000 Doge, you could put 100, but with the metric and the actual formula that they put into place, it gives that fairness to everybody, that when the actual token launches, I can't destroy you. I can't, someone cannot just go and just flood the market and completely destroy the project within the first 3 minutes, because they don't have that much available to them. So I'll stop there for a second. Any questions, or should I keep going?
Yeah, but practically, before you go on, I want to know, can you quickly drop your website and your white paper, because I can't find that at all on your Telegram community.
Okay, 1 second. Right. So we don't use roles just because we get flooded a lot in the chat. So I wanted to prevent the roles from using it, but here you go. So I'm putting it in the chat now. This is our website, and within the website is contained the white paper, but I'll send you that separately. It's a link.
Okay.
1 second. And there's the white paper.
All right. Thank you.
No
Uh,
problem.
Now you can
Go ahead.
continue.
Sure. Okay. So let me see here. 1 second. Okay, so back to the story. So every single one of us in the team, we obviously have a persona. We like to keep it that way. There's more reasons to that. A lot of it has to do with safety. As I mentioned, two of the people on this team are very successful in their lives, and do not like they don't want people to know who they are. It's just some scenarios in that method that they've come across, and crypto's a very tough space. But in terms of the team, in terms of who we are, in terms of what we've done in our personal lives, you will see that the results are going to speak for themselves. It's just a matter of time. The biggest thing that you're going to notice is the difference with our scenario and how we plan to go live and how we plan to manage the project once we do go live. And that is where everything changes. The numbers don't lie. The numbers speak for themselves. And again, you will see that. So back to the roadmap. Um, so we had planned a few things in there for the roadmap that we had planned to push or finish more towards the end of the year, but we were actually able to knock them out before the end. So one was we revamped the website. We did recruit additional team members. They're gonna continue to start helping us, with artwork and a few other things. But I guess what I'd like to go to is the exciting things, so that you can get an idea what the plan is moving forward in Q4. So if you look at the website, if not, just take a look with me. On in Q4, obviously the first thing that's going to happen, which is tomorrow, the sale will end with Panda Sale. 7 p.m. And so we're gonna have another VC within our actual Telegram. The VC will be at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. I'll get you guys the UTC time. Just only say that because some of our holders are in the Pacific time, Eastern time. Um, and then on Saturday morning, 9:30, we will have another phone call, 2 p.m. UTC, which is 7 a.m., 9 a.m. Mountain time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, say 7 a.m. Pacific time. Um, and that's on that call, we're gonna actually make the token go live with Yield Swap. So the plan was when the auction ends, we're gonna take all the time to prepare the actual additional marketing so we can blast in the morning and then just take off Saturday morning together on the call. So everyone that joins the call will literally be there when we hit go. Um, the second bullet point again is that I want to just hammer out is the community growth and development events, or the global REITs as we call it. Um, so the way I see it is many people get blindsided and they only see what they could do, what's right in front of them. But the way that I see it is the outreach and potential that we have with just simple as $100 or $1,000, right? In say the United States would not make that much of an impact. It would make an impact, but not so much of an impact. Versus other parts of the world would make a big impact. $100 to somebody, for example, we have some of our shareholders there. They're in India. $100 is significant for them. So we know that through this project together as a community, we can build the right thing, and everybody can win in some form of capacity, whether it is through investing, whether it is through involvement. And when I say by involvement, that means like example, the contest. Somebody makes something nice. We see that we can help them. Whether it is we send them, compensation for that, or whether it is we send them something in the form of like say merchandise. Like it's true. I mean, not everybody, obviously, not everybody could be shipped or shipped out, merchandise. But if we could do it, we absolutely will. That's the whole point. The whole point is to build a community and put it all together so that people can see that this is bigger than just the money part. And many people, like, again, you could look at this. Many people laugh at me about this, but in the end of the day, the bigger projects that are around aren't because of the money. It part of it is, but the other part is the community. Look at Shiba. Look at Shiba Inu. Everybody was like, "Oh, no, nothing to go nowhere," but here we are. Like, I mean, if you look at my market cap, there it is. And why did that happen? The community, people like us that made this happen. So, um, the next bullet point that we have here for Q4 is going to be strategic partnerships. As I mentioned to you, we've been talking to different swaps. We've also been talking to a few other partners and tokens that are willing to work together and want to work together because the vision, they align with the vision. And ultimately, the vision is where we want to be. We want to have people, we want to make people see that crypto is a safe space. There are safe actors out there. Not everybody's a bad actor. So the strategic partnerships are going to help expand what we already do, expand the operations, and at the same time, again, it's one of those things where you help one, they help you, everybody can. And I don't like using the term everybody wins, because as you know, in crypto somebody has to lose. But the point is, if you do it responsibly, then everybody can actually, benefit from it, and they're the losers are minimized because that you're doing it in a responsible fashion. This is all what it is. This ultimately what the banking system is. Even though, if you really, I mean, I'm not saying the banking system isn't great. I'm just saying that in some form of capacity, it was to establish some type of, law or order, a method is what I'm getting at. And so the thing with crypto is that crypto doesn't have that yet. And so, as a community, and again, part of the project, that is our goal. Our goal is to establish that and start to build around that, so that people can actually see and adopt. And I can tell you, like, the adoption is there. I'm sure you all know this. You're seeing this every single day. You're hearing it every single day. The people that say that it's not coming, they're the ones that later on are going to tell you, "Would you buy my NFT?" Okay. Any questions so far? Comments?
So far, yeah, your presentation has been fantastic. But let me quickly ask,
Yes.
uh, how much are you guys planning to raise on your launch tomorrow?
So the thing with the launch is we don't really know the total amount that's going to be raised. It's all based on the community and the people that start the project. So whoever jumps in is literally the first founders they're going to be putting into this liquidity to get the project started. So again, back to the point, fair launch. Are you able to look at the site, the Panda launch site? If not, let me put this in the chat for you as well.
Okay.
And I say this so you could look and just take a look at the numbers. But if you look at the actual launch page and go through it, what I mean is, it's not a pre-sale. The pre-sale is where you come in and you put in $10, for example, and get thousands, millions of tokens. Okay, and it's based on the metric that's static. Whereas this is not. This is a fair launch. And the difference with this product on Panda Sale, like I said, it's an amazing product, is that the more people that join, the fairer this launch will actually get. So, for example, when you first joined, if you were like the first 10, you would be getting like a million Mackenzies per Doge, right? Now we're at 313,000 per Doge. And the more people that join, let's say we get to the point where it's like 45 to 50, right? That number will be down to the point of 100 or that or less, right? So the point is, this is open season and fair game for anybody like yourself. Like, you throw in $5, $10. Like, the point is, you're gonna get a fair share of this actual startup pool. And so that's what actually caught our attention the most with Panda Sale. No one has this. Like, everybody else has just products designed to launch the token, but are they really protecting the investor? Right. And so when I saw this, I was like, I don't know. And so we did many tests. We built many test tokens to verify, and I was blown away. I was like, this is actually a really good product. Aside from Dogechain and everything, the product itself is designed to be fair. And so, and something to add, if you look at the fees and the structure that they have, right? They give the option to the token that's launching to either A, when the sale is done, the token can pay their fee for the actual launch pad out of the liquidity, right? Or they can actually pay outside, right? So what I mean is, um, let's say at the end of the sale, we get 50,000 W Doge. Just an example, okay? And then the fee for the actual launch pad is 2.5%, right? That would come out of that, right? So as you as an investor that you put in your money and you put in your hard-earned money, they basically the token would launch and the funds would be removed from there, right? However, what we did is we use the other option that they have, which is exclude the fee, which means we pay the 2% out of our pocket. And so whatever you put in goes straight to liquidity, straight live to yield swap. So again, I mean, I know I sound like I love them, but I'm not joking. This is a superior product, and they actually really thought things out to the point that it's not about the money. It's also about the investor, and the tokens that want to launch, the tokens that want to really help the investor would pay that out of their own pocket. It's the same thing as marketing. All the marketing you see and all the blasts you've been seeing, that's coming out of our pockets. That's no one's giving us this money. We're bringing this money to the table, and so that's what I'm trying to say. Like, look deeper. You'll see this, and most of these tokens don't last a day, don't last in some cases don't last an hour, right? But you're gonna see we're not going anywhere. Okay.
Okay, I that is nice. I like that. It's unique and quite different. Um, so that being it, I also wanted to know uh why why did you guys choose the Panda Sale Finance? Why didn't you use your Pink Sale or the rest of them?
So Pink Cell doesn't touch Dogechain yet. Dogechain is a unique environment. So are you familiar what the difference with Dogechain and Doge is?
Don't
If not,
know.
I okay. So Dogecoin, Dogecoin is the level one token, right? Level one meaning like say Ethereum, say like Bitcoin. Level one meaning the primary token, right? So
Mm-hmm.
think of as Dogecoin as a primary token. So are you familiar with Polygon? Have you heard of Polygon?
Yeah, yeah, I've heard of Polygon.
Okay, so Polygon is a layer two blockchain built on top of Ethereum. Okay, so the point is they're symbiotic. They live together. It's an ecosystem. So layer one is Ethereum, and then Ethereum is then wrapped into the Polygon environment, and then now you can use Ethereum within the Polygon environment at a cheap prices to move back and forth. Well, okay. So with that in mind, that is what the Dogecoin people essentially did, except on a bigger scale. So when they started the Doge chain, which is a layer two, not built on those chain, but layer two built on bridges. And so the bridge piece that again that I've just been blown away by this, but the bridge part is basically them allowing those chain to pull in from other layer ones. Doge chain or Doge coin was the first. So you could take your Doge, real Doge, bring it into the layer two environment, and now you have like I mean, smart contracts. You have the ability to make NFTs, DeFi games, all these different things that are built on the Ethereum platform. You could say what they call the EVM. And so, what I'm trying to get at is this: the Doge chain, the Doge coin blockchain itself is very similar to block. Very similar to Bitcoin is in the sense that there's no utility other than currency, use it to buy, use it to whatever, etc. But there's no utility, there's no smart contracts built on this, right? The layer two that was built on top of that now adds all of that. So think of Dogecoin as layer two, but essentially they made this very similar to like the Ethereum, Polygon, Binance, meaning the ecosystem. The money moves super fast. The ability to build on top of it there's no limit. The limit is the developers, right? So the more you get in there, the more you see that there's so much to do here. But the bigger difference is that by them opening the bridges, and the bridges are the ability to now bring in liquidity from other chains. So for example, they started with Dogecoin, now they moved on to Ethereum, where essentially now you can use the Ethereum or I would say Ethereum as a backer or for the NFTs, but essentially the liquidity is still adding value to the Doge chain community. So the perfect example, and I'll send you guys this in the chat. 1 second. Okay. Okay, so I sent it into chat. That right there is the Dogechain official token that they made to think of this DC is very similar to what BNB is, to what Ethereum is to their blockchain. Well, this DC token is the equivalent to that in the Dogechain ecosystem. My point to behind this is these guys went from being nobody really cared to they actually now are being listed everywhere like Gate.io. They're going to be on Bitmart very soon. Mexi is also picking them up. If you look at the volume, they move $20 million a day now. Some people say like, oh well, that's not like some of the bigger tokens. But if you look at this from a business perspective, what business moves $20 million a day? Right? So what I'm trying to say is they're moving in the right direction, up. Even though, like I said, there's a lot of movement there. The movements you see is in the liquidity realm. So what I'm trying to get at is those chain is a very stable chain that is like very new, just like came out really hard. But the people behind this are actually the developers from Polygon. So I, I mean, I could speculate here. This is, don't quote me on this. You could do your own research. I mean, but from what I've seen, um, because of the merger, once Ethereum goes proof of stake, Polygon built on top of Ethereum really won't have the same purpose as it did before because now that Ethereum is proof of stake, the fees are going to be as low, if not lower, to what Polygon charges. So within that time frame when they announced the official date of the merger, which is like 969596, when they officially launched that or said that, that point forward, this chain just went ballistic. And I believe that's because the Polygon people see what's happening. They know that at some point Polygon will be more on infrastructure, which is amazing, by the way. I mean, Polygon has now officially started working with Disney and started working with Mercedes-Benz, for example, to build private blockchain. And so, just sorry, one step back. Like everything that you know now, and I know, like maybe a year from now, you're gonna laugh and say, "Oh, that's starfish," but I tell you right now, a couple of years from now, everything that you know is going to be on blockchain. And a friend told me that years ago, and I laughed at him and I said, whatever, like right, everything's going to be on blockchain. Okay, guy, okay, right? Well, he's right. I didn't think so, but some of the stuff that I've had the opportunity to work in is very much in the realm of medical and in the information realm, and they are now in the matter of transitioning that to blockchain, like medical records and other things, because it makes sense. Like if you really think about it, like that, what is the biggest thing of one of the biggest reasons fraud can exist is because things can be altered, things can be changed. But when you put them on the blockchain where they're immutable or non-fungible, then they cannot be changed. These are things that will live forever. So the fraud, in my opinion, will be reduced and isolated because you'll know where it's at. So, okay, sorry for the tangent. I'm just saying lots of beautiful things coming, and I see this future, this adoption is something amazing. At first it seems very scary because there's all kinds of different things, but there will be consolidation, and that's why we want to make a project that is based around the community, because in the end of the day, the community is what drives it. The community is what makes the actual project live. It's you, it's us. We make this live, not like in the end of the day, we are the investors, right? You bring this to life, not anybody else. So, um, okay, let me get to another bullet point. So once we go live, we plan to within, I mean, hopefully within the first month. It all depends on the volume that we see, but we left an allocation of tokens available so that we can begin the process of creating other liquidity pools in the other swaps so that we can go live. We had originally talked to Doge Swap, but the we actually got a lot of interest from the Kibble Swap team, and I think think and our focuses, we may end up focusing on Kibble Swap first, then Doge Swap, depending on the scenario. But with the Kibble Swap guys, um, we have the ability to not only back the token with WDolt, but we also have the ability to back it with other tokens. In other words, create liquidity so that the token goes live, more investors can buy, and you as investors or people that buy into the fair launch see the benefit the most, right? So at the end of the day, think of it like this: um, if you were in a pre-sale and everybody had in and just completely regulated amount of tokens. The moment that the launch goes live and new investors get in, they're immediately going to lose their money because someone will dump. And I know you know this, you've seen this, we've all seen this, right? The scenario here is nobody has that amount. No one will have that amount. Everybody will launch with a fair amount, and then the new investors that come in, obviously, that obviously raises your value, right? But the point that I'm getting at is when you look at the bigger picture, at that point you can either hold, you could buy more, you could sell and get your profits. It's up to you. But the point is, the people that sell immediately are not going to be selling hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of tokens because they won't have them based on the total amount of volume that people do buy in. For the fair launch. Um, but anyways, yeah, the goal is to get on Kibble Swap as soon as possible. We've already been talking to them. It's just a matter of allocating the additional funding, which will come out of our own pockets. Not going to be taken out of no marketing or none of that stuff like that. The goal behind this is that we've created an allocation, enough tokens left. If you look at the site, actually back to the Panda Sale site, you'll notice that there is 39% locked in liquidity for yield swap. There is an allocation of 50% for the pre-sale, and there is an 11% that was left over. That is the 11% that we're talking about. That's going to be allocated for the other two swaps. But from what I've been seeing, we're probably going to go with Kibble Swap first. So that again, just a quick explanation. That's what that unlock is for, because we want to immediately go to another swap. We don't plan to keep ourselves in one place, and whatnot. There's bigger things. Believe me, there's other things. We just don't want to talk about it just yet until we're ready to release it, because we don't want anyone to steal our thunder and say they came up with it first. And believe me, based on what we've been doing, there are many things we've been talking about. There's going to be firsts, and people will want to take that credit for that. So, but again, as mentioned to you, I guess I could give you or allude to it a bit, which is the bridges. Long story short, with bridges, we have the ability to bring in capital from other sides, whether it be Ethereum, whether it be as soon actually will be Binance. But the point is, you have the ability to bring in liquidity from other locations. So we could build and build strong. And an example would be that you build a product, or say, like, I mean, a perfect example would be an NFT, right? You have the ability to now build it in different multiple currencies, for example. Like you could have the backend on with, for example, just an example. Let's say that you build your NFTs and you put them in Polygon, right? Because Polygon is obviously um, one of the bigger ones that you could like go to OpenSea and buy those things, right? That but through the process, you could have it that your utility is that when someone buys your NFT, the liquidity comes back in Doge or whatever you want back into the pool. So the point is real utility, right? Like not and I'm not to knock anybody, but if you look at all the projects out there that are making NFTs, that are like just pumping them out. I mean, I wouldn't buy them. I mean, maybe some people like them. I get that. Some of them are pretty cute, I guess. But when I look at that, I want quality. I want something that just you know catches my attention, right? And so that's what I mean. It's quality over quantity. And so that is the goal here. We don't want to just pump out garbage so that someone looks at that and says, "Oh, they buy it dirt cheap," and then no, 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 no. That's not the goal here. The goal here is real results, real quality. So, anyways, just trying to get to the point that that is our plan, that is the goal. There is no stop, there's no wait. We're ready to go. We just need to launch. But we wanted to make sure that we gave people enough time to know that the launch was there. So that's why we hyped the launch for a week, like just marketing, getting people involved, talking to the community. And then we made our launch 1 week long. so that it gave people enough time to learn about the project and not ape in, not make the mistake, and then later on be like, oh, right. Not that they would, because that's not going to happen. But my point is, in the scenarios, is that people ape in, not knowing enough information, and then it ends up being a mistake. But we wanted to make sure that people had enough time to say what they had to say. I mean, we had many people come tell us, "You're a rug pull. You're a scam. You rugged the first day." And I'm like, "We haven't launched. How can we rug the first day if we haven't launched?" Right? And those same people came back and said, uh, "We'd like to market you." Oh, thank you, thank you. We appreciate that. But the point that I'm trying to make is we gave people enough time to look, to vet, and think about it and ask the questions. And in our Telegram, it's completely open. People can throw the questions out there. There's 3 mods in there now. They all work different hours, but they will answer the questions. It's just a matter of when they get around to it. So okay. So with that in mind, we moving forward with Kibble Swap as soon as we can. We're definitely adding staking, and our swap slash liquidity pool, as I mentioned. The goal behind it is we're going to have a product that it. I mean, again, you've seen this. Everybody sees this. Everybody has that product out there. The difference is that our product is going to be designed to actually works the way it's supposed to, which is essentially create the liquidities, create the swaps, give the functionality and the actual, I would say, the value to you as an investor, with knowing that you put your money, you put your you stake, and you can rest assured that you're actually getting the value by staking. It's not like you stake the money and then you immediately have a permanent loss and you're stuck with absolute garbage, right? That's not, again, that is not the goal here. The goal here is to keep the liquidity going, which is why I mentioned that 6%. Even though in many cases it doesn't seem relevant, when you look at other projects and how they're structured, they're not doing 6%, they're not doing 5%, some are doing 2%. I mean, so if you look at the scenario, and some of the structures of how the tokenomics are, if they're taking reflections in the form of 3 to 5%, but they're only putting 2% liquidity, how are they going to pay for it? Right? So just think about that. The whole point is this is not structured for us to make money. This is structured for this to live and move on and become an actual brand. That is our goal. Our goal is that someday down the road, when other people have come in and the company is actually moving, we fully incorporated, everything is actually running full speed ahead. We'll see this somewhere, like some kind of an advertisement, some soccer thing. You're gonna see probably kids or children running around with the shirts. We love that. That's our goal. The goal isn't that. The goal is at some point down the road, they're gonna see this and be like, oh wow, these guys did this, or this project did this. And in the end of the day, it's not going to be the founders, it's going to be the community, because that is the goal. The goal is that whatever we do, there's going to be complete visibility for the community, and there's going to be votes. That is our goal. Our goal is to be essential. And actually, the first project we're going to do that with, or is the contest. We're going to have a community voting process so that people can vote on what they like in terms of the memes. But that is just a test bed for the fact that we're actually going to use that to make the decisions that matter. So we're going to do community events. Let's vote on that. What's the best option? What's what we do? But the point is, there's going to be complete visibility. People will know what the money is being spent on. There will be receipts. There will be verification. People can look and say the money was taken from here, put to here. Everything is completely visible. There's no like hidden things happening in the background is what I'm trying to get at. So okay, so that kind of summarizes Q4. There's more things in there, but like I said, we don't want to get too crazy, because then again it's all about our intellectual property. So um let me hop into Q1 unless you have any questions.
Well, that is all the question from my end, except Dr. King has any questions to ask.
Yeah,
Okay.
actually, I mean,
All right,
it
go
is one of. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
I could say this is one of the most amazing, presentation that I have come for a very, very long time. You know, he has gone, over everything. Definitely, Starfish. You have that ability. The voice that's gonna move, the people. So definitely keep doing what you do, buddy. And you have a very good knowledge when it comes to blockchain and where we are going for the future, especially. Not only that, many people know about that Mercedes, and this little deal. Only few of us even had awareness of it, that Bolligan is working on it. So it is amazing. So you said one thing that I caught was that you guys are not trading as of right now, but will be opening to trade for tomorrow, right?
Uh, so we're open right now on the fair launch, but come Saturday morning, then it goes to the open market on Yod Swap. But if you do get in early, like literally right now, you guys are early. Like you have the opportunity to be an early investor and be one of the first ones in there to launch the project, right? But if you wait to say Saturday morning, then you would be buying it just like everybody else. But right now, you definitely have the opportunity to get in early.
So I'm a kind of like number guy. Are you the number guy? Are you the def? By the way, are you the owner or the def? I mean, what's your responsibility in the project?
So I'm not the owner, not the co-founder. I do all the development and some of the marketing pieces as well as some of the so there's more to this, like I mentioned. But in the deeper realm, I do writing and we do some of we I used to do some of the you could say acting, for example, but I don't want to don't
So
want to get too specific.
I'm assuming since you use Pacific Standard Time, you're from LA.
Well, some of our staff is, but no, I use that as an example because some of the people that are on the call with us, they actually are in the United States. So, but yeah, we don't get too specific in the locations because again, we're trying to stay
Full
safe.
anonymity. Okay, okay, that is awesome. So, how much percentage of the tokens are you guys allocated, for the fair launch or any kind of pre-sale?
Okay. So right now for the fair launch, the total allocation is 50%. So we put 50% up for actual fair launch. There's 39% immediately locked in with Yield Swap. So 39% of the entire supply, or 3.9 billion of the supply, is going straight to Yield Swap, right? And so essentially what you're buying into is the 5 billion allocation, right? So 5 billion allocated to pre-sale, 3.9 billion allocated to liquidity, right? Which then leaves like 1.1 billion left in the total supply pool. That's that 11% that I mentioned that will be used to fund the next swap pool with Kibble Swap. But yeah, look at the numbers. You could actually see how they do it, and you can see the maximum buy that we set, which is 1,000 W Doge. So it's not 10,000, not 100,000 W Doge. Like I said, there's no whales. Though, like just you do the math and look at the way the metric is, and when you look at the little bit, like you look at how that will change every time people buy, you're gonna start to see how fairer it gets the more people participate. So that's the beauty of this product. I'm telling you, the more and more I look at this, I'm just like, Panda Sale's not getting enough credit for this because Pink Sale and all these other guys, they don't have this. They're not doing this. They're not actually making products that benefit the people. And if you look at some of the things that they did, like in the realm of the contest part, I was blown away with this. If you just look at Panda Sale and go into the contest section, you'll notice they have the
Mm-hmm.
whitelist spot, right? And right now the way they do the whitelist is the whitelist is all over the place. They make these like sweep widget and all these other contests to do this. Well, Panda Sale made that so that you can actually have built-in whitelist contests as well as airdrops within the same platform, right? So we plan to use that, by the way, at
And
some point.
they don't take tokens. That's what I'm assuming, right?
They don't. You actually pay the fee, which is in this case 250 Doge, W Doge, and the actual project
No
pays.
way. Just
Yeah,
250?
yeah. I'm
Wow,
telling you,
that's not even a $10. That's not even a $10. You
it's
technically
amazing. I'm
$11.
telling you. I have yet to see something like this. And so when I got in there, I was like, you not only are you giving the people or projects the ability to do this, but you're opening the doors to people to legally or proper, not legally, but properly manage a project, right? And you as a holder or as you as an investor, right? The last thing you want to think of is that you put your time and effort and nothing
These
happens. There's
guys
no
robbing
accountability.
you off, taking,
Exactly.
some percentage while they dumping you while, being sell is one of the things that I always criticize I'm not a fan of them. You know, they
Yeah.
always dump right at the launch, you know, which is the ones who create the value of most of the projects that launch in there. By the way, let me come back to this one. You said you have a
Yes.
fair launch that's happening right now. Does that
Yes.
mean the fair launch that we know, the typical fair launch, or the fair launch that nowadays Pinsel made it, where the people just buy it as much they can, and then at the end of the day, you know, whenever that comes in, everyone gets an equal amount. Is that the
No,
fair
no,
launch?
no, no. This is truly a fair launch. So, if you go to the site, if you go to the Panda Sale site, I'll send you the link in the description. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put it again in the chat. Okay. So if you look at the fair launch and you look at the description, we didn't write fair launch. They wrote that. Their product is 100% a fair launch. So um, if you take a look at the setup and the build, essentially every single time somebody buys something, the supply that says current rate W Doge equals X amount of the Mackenzie, that is going to continuously go down because the more people that come in, the more the token is, or in other words, the bigger the split of the distribution, right? So if you came in and put 1,000, right, then your percentage based on all the participants will then be calculated based on that, on the amount you put in, right? So again, just look at this, try and break it. I did the same thing. I looked at this and I'm like, where is the hold? Where are they getting away with it? But then I sat there and I'm like, this is brilliant. Like, like I think I told the people in the Panda sale like many times that I love them, because bottom line, this is new. This is superior. They're not getting the light and the credit they deserve because people are using it like in different capacities. But we chose to use it the correct way, which is like the exact scenario. Put the tokenomics in the proper way
No,
so that you.
it only takes one good project. I remember being so when they come out. I remember when they were struggling. The project that put them on map was SteamX, where they have raised it 1,500 BFP. So it only takes it one good project that does, you know, 100x, and they're gonna be on the map. Trust me on that one.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, buddy. That's going to be the case. And I can tell you something. Just looking at what they've been doing, look at the things that they've done, the partnership they created. I mean, let me put it to you this way. Once we launched a token, and meaning we built the token and follow the proper frameworks, we were contacted and given contacts to get audit everything, right? It wasn't a white glove experience yet, but I know that eventually will be something that they do, in my opinion, because it's just second nature. Like, you have the ability to just help people like from A to Z. Think about it. Like you as a token, like if you're a legitimate token and you're doing your thing, you want to come to a place where you can launch, and at the same time, have all the things in place to just, again, vet yourself, whether it's KYC, whether it's the audit, whether you want to have a public audit like we did, or whether you want to have private audit where you just want a peace of mind in and your team and what you've built, right? So anyways, point is, I agree with you 100%. These guys are going to go somewhere, and I'm glad that we get to be there because I mean, this is just an amazing venture. Think about it. We're so early. We're literally so early.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. Any other questions?
I'm speaking and I'm muted.
Oh.
Thank you very much, Dr. King. I appreciate that. Starfish, nice presentation there, and I've been enjoying it so far. So, Leonard, would you welcome questions from the community?
Yes, definitely. Go ahead.
Okay. So, let us start with questions. We'll start with Crypto Matrix. Crypto Matrix, you're allowed to speak. Crypto Matrix, unmute yourself and speak, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Speak
can
up
hear
a
you.
little louder.
I don't care, buddy.
Okay. Okay, so you said you're planning on having an NFT marketplace, right?
Uh-huh.
You're planning on having your NFT.
So we have the plans to it's not just like one NFT. There's going to be series of NFTs and different drops. So there's a lot planned. But the point is, it's gonna start in the form of a mint and expand to the NFT and sorry, the marketplace. And just to give you a little perspective on this, because Dogechain is so new, like there's going to be tons and tons of marketplaces out there. Okay, so to try and compete in that space for the marketplace, in my opinion, is very difficult, right? But we're going for isn't so much the marketplace, it's more of the mint slash creation of intellectual property, right? So I'm not sure if you're familiar with film 3, but the basically where all these NFTs are going is right now we're obviously we look at pictures and 3D images, right? But we're going to get to the point where the movies, right? Movies, comics, anime. By the way, anime is going to be humongous on this stuff. And if you haven't seen this, just sit back, scroll, like they say, when in doubt, scroll out, take a step back and look, and you're going to end up looking and seeing that what's coming, like the things that are planned around this Web 3 slash Film 3, it's going to be amazing. Like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the scenario of watch to earn, but essentially watch to earn is you literally watch and you earn, right? So like think of Netflix where you watch a movie on Netflix and now they pay you to watch the movie, right? So what I'm getting trying to say is all of this stuff is going to evolve, and that is where we're going to be. Like it's not going to be like a little picture of a donkey with a sombrero or something, right? Like that's not the goal here. The goal is to make something that's actually value and it retains that value. So the things that we plan to build around that NFT space are going to be more in the realm of um you could say liquidity injections based on when they sell, how much money they profit, and it comes straight in. And so that's not coming to us. That's going to come to back into the liquidity pool in the form of when they sell, it converts, adds liquidity. So everything that we create is going to be based around the principle that is going to inject liquidity to keep the project alive and make it more valuable. That's all we're after, is create value. So even though you could call it NFT, the NFT really is a utility to create value. It's just that's what works in the current space right now. But yeah, the goal is it's not just like an NFT or like just another marketplace. The goal is to actually make something of value within this space that people will come. Like we want people to come to us and mint with us, right? So you're the artist, right? You make your stuff, you make beautiful artwork, but in the end of the day, you need to go somewhere, right? Well, we want to be there. We want to be the ones that people come to build with us, right? And they release and they do their thing. So there's so many cool things. Like I said, I can't get into because then I would like literally be giving away the secret sauce. But yes, there's this really good stuff. But sorry, go ahead. I don't know if I answered your question or if I went off into a tangent. But
Yeah, you did answer my question. So concerning the trading part of your platform of your project, you said we'll be able to trade. So I just want to know if you are planning on having local banks whereby people worldwide will be able to exchange cryptocurrency to collect funds, like Nigeria and China, Chinese, and Indonesia.
yes. So like I said, right now. Oh, I heard like an echo.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
So
here.
Oh, okay. So, like right now, the way that the space is and the way that things are going, everything is running within MetaMask. Okay, and so the environment, like I said, you're so fresh, you're so new. This is like just uncharted territory. But because it's on MetaMask, it's very, I would say, Wild West, very like open, right? But they right now we are in the transition where the traditional setup, the wallets, the trust wallets, and all these other wallets use Wallet Connect and very similar protocols are all going to jump on board. Like, so there will be a point where this is just like any other currency. So think of it like this, right? We're like when you buy an Ethereum ERC type token, right? You're literally buying an Ethereum based token, right? So Mackenzie is a Dogechain based token, right? So right now, because Dogechain is emerging, the wallet support is right now in MetaMask, right? But as time goes on, And then when I say time, I would say no later than the end of September, maybe somewhere mid-October, we're gonna see the differences where you're gonna see this everywhere. Like I guarantee you, within like sometime by the end of September, those chain is gonna be like making so many waves. Like they've already thrown so many rocks in the pond that you can see the ripples everywhere. And I've been just seeing this like crazy. And the more and more I dive in, the more and more I see where they're going. No one, they're not gonna stop them. In fact, like think about it like this: if there was going to be any point where there was a roadblock to preventing this from going mainstream, you've already would have heard it from the major exchanges, right? But we literally hear the exchanges adopting them at mass speed. Like I've never seen any token get this much volume, this much open arms where they're just bringing it in this fast. And so when you just look at the numbers for Dogechain and look when it actually came out, which was like October the 3rd, October the 1st, and here we are like just literally 30 days later, and they have like a really good set of market cap, a really good set of volume, and like thousands, like lots of wallets and holders, right? So we're talking that this is moving at a pace that no one is moving at. This is literally they were showing the numbers and the actually I think it was a video that Hey John did, if I'm not mistaken, where he was going through and comparing the numbers between all the other level one tokens. And right now, those chain is literally in the same or almost the same realm as Ethereum transactions. And you sit there and you're like, wait. You're moving the same amount of money as they are? What does that tell you? Right? It's just the numbers speak it. And I'll tell you this from my own experience. I ended up learning this from a really good friend who said, look, it doesn't matter what the numbers in the chart say, the reds and the greens and all that stuff. What you need to focus on is the ingress and the out. And, or the egress, right? The money coming in and the money going out. And that's going to tell you what's happening. That's really the bigger picture, because you can look at all these little individual tokens going up and down, up and down. But in the end of the day, what actually matters is how much money came into the entire market and how much money left the entire market, right? So anyways, my point is this is going to be adopted soon, like on many different wallets. Like for example, when this first came out, the only place that you could track the actual tokens was Dex Screener, right? Now Dex Tools, which is obviously one of the bigger ones out there, has completely picked them up, right? And now Dex Tools is now showing all the Dogechain tokens. So when you sit there and you look at that, it's like, why? Just ask yourself, why? There's a big reason why the adoption, it's coming. And I tell you, like, you guys are so early. So I right now it's going to be, a little bit of struggle where you have to use MetaMask. If you don't have that, you're not used to that. But I'm telling you, this is going to be like real fast, where everything's going to have wallet connect, and it's going to be as simple to just connect, buy, and go. It's huge.
Awesome, man. Nice. I love the way you answered it, and it's comprehensive.
What's
Uh,
I love to share, my friend. That's the point, right? We help each other. Like what I don't know, you know, and what I know, I can share with you, right?
yeah. Okay, so now we'll go to the next question. Rising Star, you're allowed to speak. Rising Star.
Hello. Hey,
Hello.
Starfish.
Hello, how you doing?
Hi. I'm good, thank you. So, my question is coming from something I saw in your white paper. You guys
Yes.
said your goal is to share positivity and in the DeFi space or something you said there. So I want to know and create an impact in the DeFi space. So I want to know, have you guys thought about expanding this positivity and impacting people's lives outside of the crypto space, like expanding it outside to people who are not in the crypto space, something like expanding it into charity or going into charity and stuff like that?
Yes.
You
No,
know,
no,
when persons,
yes. You actually hitting on a very, very good point, which is that is the point of the community outreaches. So if you look at the website and just look at the Q4 and then look at Q1 of the following year of 2023, the goal is always the community, right? To bring in the community, to do those outreaches, just like you said, right? To go to the places that people don't know about this, right? To create the safe haven, the safe harbor where people know that they can say, okay, this token looks good, but it's not about the token. As I mentioned to you, it's about the community. So it may be that somebody comes in and spends $1. It may be that at some point, and there's a lot of scenarios that we talked about on the back end. That's why we mentioned the whole airdrop piece, because there will be a point where we have those outreaches. We give people the chance to earn it, right? So there will be people that cannot buy. We absolutely understand that, right? That's again the purpose of the community. That is why we did the outreach. That is why we'll do those contests, right? To bring in people that have nothing to do with crypto and make a difference with crypto, right? Which would basically imply that we would essentially make that value as mentioned, right? And through this, through a community, right? Like you just mentioned, you could like we could have a vote within there, like, hey, we would like to reach out to these people, this community, or this school, for example, right? And then us as a community within our realm, right? And by the way, there is actually something we're in the process right now, which is outside of Telegram, we are going to eventually add our Discord. It's just we need to launch first before we start applying other things and confusing people. We want to add value, not take away. So, but there will be a Discord that's going to allow that international community to have their own channel, the Chinese channel, Turkish, etc. Like I've been talking to so many people, and it's so amazing to hear that this is reaching like different parts of the world, because in the end of the day, that is the goal, right? The goal is what's going to connect us all, right? Like at some point down the road, we all have that human factor, right? Like you share that with everybody in this world, whether you like it or not, whether it's your children, whether it is the feelings you have, you sympathy, empathy, etc., right? We all share that at some point. Whether you speak the same language, we all speak the same emotions, right? So all I'm trying to say is we have that ability to make those changes and impacts as a community, and that is the goal behind this, to build that up, have that the ability to use those marketing funds to actually make a difference, not spend it on myself, not so I can say win Lambo. That's not what this is about. This is about us and you and everyone growing. And you'll see that, I tell you, like you will see that, because the numbers don't lie and actions speak louder than words. And how we do it is going to actually, again, you'll see it. Words don't mean anything long term, because I could tell you words all day long, and in the end, people tell you words and they rug. It's the actions of what they do. They speak.
Yeah, that's awesome. And there's so much. I personally like tokens that opt into charity, and there's so much I'd like to talk about it. But if I start talking about it right now, there'll be no time for other their questions. So maybe we'll just talk on your Telegram. Maybe if you guys have a VC, you could just talk more about it.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that again, you are hitting on the points that we're definitely going to do, which is those community talks and those times to just have those conversations. Because in the end of the day, like just in my own experiences, I've had the ability to talk to people that have been, robbed. They've had bad experiences, right? And it's education. And so, bottom line is, if we take the time to educate each other, we can grow together.
Thank you very much, Rising Star, for your question. I hope that answers your question. Okay,
Yes, it
so
did.
okay, so now we'll now go to Sophie. Sophie, you're allowed to speak.
Hello, Sophie.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good in yourself?
Can I ask my question?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, so my question is, did you consider community feedback requests during the creation of your product in order to expand on fresh ideas for your project? Many projects fail because the target audience and clients are not understood. So I'd like to know who's your ideal consumer is for your product.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Okay, can I repeat?
Yes, please. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm saying, did you consider community feedback requests during the creation of your product in order to expand on fresh ideas for your project? Many projects fail because the target audience and clients are not understood. So I'd like to know who's your ideal consumer for your product.
Ah, I see. Okay. So yes, we definitely did take in community feedback. It also took in a lot of considerations and from the experiences that we all had throughout this. So, the thing that we've all had in common within our team and within the group is that we've all experienced some type of form of rug pull. And so, that is actually what the basis is this is all about. Like, we weren't specifically reaching out to any community because the bottom line is stability reaches every community, right? Like, it doesn't matter whether you're Chinese or whether you're in Europe or Turkey, or it doesn't matter. The bottom line is you all want the same thing. You want stability and something that's going to be there tomorrow. You don't want to look in your wallet next morning when you go after you go to bed and be like, where did all the money go, right? Like, that's what I mean. Like, so our target audience is the actual investor, and people, just people like you, people like me, that actually want to see this grow and actually want to grow with it, right? Like, bottom line, obviously everybody comes in, they all want to make money, they all want to grow their assets, everybody wants to retire, right? But you can't do that if people don't do it responsibly, right? And if people don't do things responsibly, like, for example, like when they do cash out, or when they do, like, for example, a perfect example is these marketing wallets, right? Like, they build up these reflections, and then the project essentially can just tank themselves, right? And that's the typical thing. That's not our scenario. Our scenario is back to what I mentioned: community voting. We're going to talk about this. We're going to responsibly do this so that it doesn't impact the project, right? But we get the funds that we need to keep growing. And that is what a business does. That is what this is really. If you like, just take one step back. Everyone talks about crypto, but they don't really see what crypto truly is, right? Crypto, essentially, in my opinion, is the new crowdsourced, new funding slash startup realm, right? Where you are technically like an angel investor coming in and starting up a company. Okay. And so the difference is we're actually running this like a company, whereas most places don't run it like a company. They just run it as a project, and I'm done. See you later, right? That is not our goal. Our goal is we're running this business practices and actual ethical practices that we've all learned through time. So, as mentioned, the people on this team and the co-founders, they're literally seasoned professionals. They've been doing this for years. The difference is they're tired of seeing all this stuff, and when they both actually got into Dogechain, and we started going into all the things that are happening, and we were just amazed at everything that was there. But in the end of the day, the safety wasn't there. The ability for people to feel that they weren't going to be taken wasn't there. And that is what we're trying to do, right? That people can actually look at this, see the numbers, know that it's going to be there, and feel confident that they're actually going into a good project. So, sorry, back to your point, our target audience isn't like a specific demographic. It's more of a state of mind, you could say, right? Where we're all looking for that common ground. Where do we find where we're safe, but we're earning? And if you and the whole purpose is this: everyone's going to be earning those 3%, right? You as an investor will earn your 3%. Well, if you cash your 3% out responsibly, then everybody can actually be okay. It's just a matter of responsibly doing this stuff, and that is traditionally what is not done in crypto. Crypto is me first, always me first, right? But that is what I'm trying to get at. We could change that.
Okay, I have one more question. Can I ask?
Sure.
No, no.
Oh, sorry,
Um,
sorry, Chomy.
let's give them for others because of time. Okay, Sophie, you can go on to the Telegram channel and also ask. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for answering me, and best of luck for your project. Thank you, Carlyle, for the opportunity. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
Sophia.
Sophie. Okay, so now let's go to Wainigan Madip. You're allowed to speak.
Hello, man. Can you hear me?
Yep,
Yeah,
I
we
can hear
can
you. How
hear
you doing?
you.
Okay, I have a question. What will be your max transaction and max wallet at launch, and do you have any transfer tax from wallet to wallet?
That is a very great question. So, number one, there is no transfer tax. So you can send D Mackenzies to your friend, to your family, anybody. The beauty is, at the moment you do that, they start earning reflections because they're now a holder as well, but no tax on the transfers. There is buy and sell taxes, which is I mentioned, the 10%. And from the 10%, 6% goes straight to liquidity, 3% goes to us as holders. Sorry, sorry, 3% goes to the marketing wallet, 1% comes back to the holders. And as mentioned, the 6% though is the bigger key to this, because bottom line, we're re-injecting that fund back into the actual liquidity. So it's not like when you sell, it just keeps going down. When you sell, the liquidity goes up, which means even though you're leaving, the people behind you, they're not going to be impacted as much. It's going to keep growing and growing and growing. So that is the reason behind the tax. But sending between each other, absolutely no taxes between that.
But my other question is there a max transaction and max wallet after lunch?
So in terms of the actual max, that's okay. So perfect, great point. So in terms of the max sell, we have not adjusted that point yet because of the actual total of Mackenzie's. So if you look at the wallet size of Mackenzie's, and the total like supply, it's 10 billion, not 100 trillion, not quadrillions. So we didn't set the max buy or a final max buy because we don't know. We can't gauge that, right? It all depends on the market conditions. But we left that actual availability to do that if we need to make any adjustments. But to be honest with
Okay.
you, I don't think that's even necessary because of this token supply.
I be- my suggestion is you should have a max wallet or max X, because anyone can make many wallet and buy as many as they can in the fair lunch right now, then transfer it to a one wallet after lunch, then they can dump it all, you know what I mean?
Right, right. So again, that's definitely a scenario that could potentially happen, right? And so, interesting you say that, but there is some protections within that Panda side that do prevent some of those things. So yeah, I do hear what you're saying, but um, in the end of the day, if somebody did do that and they did transfer that allocation, there's definitely a way to protect that. So yeah, we like I said, we definitely watching for bad actors, and those are the types of things that I mean, yeah, you could definitely get yourself blacklisted for something like that. But bottom line, the whole max sell, the whole max piece of that is like you can incorporate that immediately, but bottom line, you don't really know, right? So but yeah, I do understand what you're saying, but we don't know the actual gauge yet. So we actually do plan to make any adjustments more towards the end. I would say somewhere in the realm of mid to end of September if we need to. But like I said, I totally hear what you're saying, right? Someone could go in there and buy 10 of these. At the end of the day, they're launching the project too, right? But should they decide to do that, that's an entirely different story. But we actually are paying attention to that and watching out for that. So the likelihood of them getting away with it is probably not going to happen at all. So, but I agree with you, right? Like bottom line, that is why we chose the total amount of the token supply. So, and if anybody decided to do that right now, they would literally just destroy themselves and not the project because, like as mentioned to you, there's liquidity that we still have plans to inject. So no matter what they do, it will eventually come to a good place. So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for answering that. That's so important. Thanks. This is great.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your question, Ryan again. We'll now go to cryptos. Cryptos, you're allowed to speak.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear
Hello.
you.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. I just have a simple question.
Yes.
And you said you guys will be a fun meme coin. You will be a fun meme coin. I hope I'm audible enough.
No, we can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead. I hear you.
Okay. You said you guys will be a fun meme coin. So my question is, what fun activities do you plan to get your community engaged in? In order to keep them engaged, keep them active on all your social media platforms. Will there be a meme contest, shilling contest, project picture competition, game competition, and stuff like that?
Okay.
All your social media, your Telegram, your Okay, go on.
So you hit a great point, and I do appreciate you bringing that up. I'll give you just one piece of this, okay? Just one small piece, just to give you an idea of like one part of our plans, right? But yes, the point is to engage the community, to continue the contest, to get people to make things, to create things, right? Bottom line is, I mentioned about the minting part, right? There are some amazing artists out there in the community that can literally bring their artwork, mint it themselves, and sell it, right? So our goal is not just to obviously make money. It's again the community, right? So yes, people will come in, people will create, people will do their things, and we as a community help guide, right? And so like I mentioned, the education, we're educating each other, right? But to your point, the engagement is going to be consistent. I mean, we plan actually, so we have weekly contest plan, right? And those will eventually roll up to a monthly contest. And so, meaning like every single week we have a contest, and then based on certain parameters, those people then get entered into the monthly drawing, right? And so we're actually finalizing some of the drawing pieces because we got a huge amount of memes and submissions. So we're now finalizing some of those pieces so that we can go through the voting process. Again, this is going to be the first test bed for the voting process. But my point behind you is, as a community, we'll be able to look at things together, vote on these things. I mean, there's so many things we could do, right? Like whether it is like we create like a movie night, and as ridiculous as that sounds, it's now available, right? Where you could do that. You could create this community. A lot of this is going to be in Discord because we can't really support the same stuff in Telegram like in Discord. But that is the goal, right? The goal is to find the things, find the community managers. I've been talking to so many community managers that would just love to come on board and help in their specific community, whether it is Chinese, whether it's Turkish. Anyways, the point is this: we just have to put the things in place for the people to come, right? It's so funny, right? A friend was telling me this, and I laugh about this because it's from a movie that I saw as a kid called The Field of Dreams. The whole "if you build it, they will come" scenario. Well, that's very true, right? If we put the things in place, if we put those pillars in place, people will come and stand by them and support them because they believe in that. And when you believe in something, you support those things. And like I said, I truly believe that because I've seen it myself, not just in the crypto space, but in life in general, and seeing how people do things. And so when someone believes in something, they'll stand there no matter what. And so my point is, we're doing the things correctly, so when people have confidence, they're going to know that they're going to look behind them and know that we're still there, right? And so that's what I'm trying to say. Like the bottom line is that outreach is going to be there, and we're consistently be there, and just keep engaging people, because that is what the community is. Bottom line, that's what this is about. It's about the community, because you guys are the ones that come in and want and put your hard-earned money with the expectation that it's going to earn you more money and be stable, right? So that is what we built to create around, right? That is the whole target audience, is essentially that, the community. Just no matter how you look at it, and what you're going to see us doing and all the different things that we focus on, it's going to focus around the people and the communities.
Thank you so much. I like that you are interested in your community and you are going to have a wonderful project. Thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Cryptos. Okay. How about do you got more time? Do we continue with the question, Starfish?
I have I have until 8:30 or another like 30 more minutes, and I say that because I have someone recording it on the West Coast, so I have about maybe 12 more minutes.
Okay, so let's take 2 more questions and then we're done for today.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Let's see who we haven't heard their voice on VC for a while. Okay, great, Bob. Let's hear you. You're allowed to speak.
Hello.
Hi. Hello there, Bob.
Hi. I got a question.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
In terms of swapping your token, how will you plan to address the following issues like high gas fee, poor user experience, and fund locking? What distinguishes you from other competing projects?
One question, please. One question, man. Let's take it one question.
Huh?
Just ask only one question. Which of them would you be asking, please?
All right. How will you plan to address the following issue like high gas fee and poor user experience, and as
Okay.
well
Okay.
fund locking?
So I'll actually it's real quick. Don't worry, Chomy. I'll answer them both for him. So number one, the high gas fee. The high gas fees aren't applicable in Dogechain. So the actual gas fee on Dogechain typically is 0.0001. So it's absolutely nothing. That's actually why I think Dogechain is going to be here for a long time, and that is actually why they're so scared of it, because bottom line, it's going to break down those barriers in the terms of the gas fees. Like that now lets you buy more, that lets you earn more because you're spending less in gas fees, right? So, yeah, the gas fees are going to be very, very minimal. I just when you get in there and you start using Dogechain, you're going to sit there and be like, whoa, this is revolutionary in my opinion. It's definitely a big change. The second thing that you pointed to in terms of like what was the second piece?
Poor user experience.
Okay, so the poor user experience, that I mean, obviously that varies between like location that you go to, and meaning like where you swap your tokens, Yod swap or whatever, etc. Right? Like all those experiences, all they vary because different tokens have different methodologies, right? But as mentioned, um, our goal is to keep that experience as it's supposed to be, clean, cut. There's absolutely no red. It's all black and white. This is what it is. This is how it works. This is where all of that is there, right? So in terms of like the poor experience, I think we're going to change that because people are going to come in confidently knowing that when they're buying a brand. They're not just buying another token that's just going to go to hell in a day or two, right? They're actually buying a brand with the purpose of expanding and going to other places. So that's the purpose of Dogemackenzie, by the way. The purpose is that you could say he's like you, he's like me, in a sense that has been there, has experienced those things, and so through this brand, we'll be able to get into places and change things. Like, and as ridiculous as it sounds, like I've already seen it happen. Like just in some of the things that we've done, some people in Indonesia, for example, like have they joined our contest, right? They're so excited because if they win any of those three prizes, they're good to go for at least a week or so, right? So I know we can make an impact, and so that stuff makes us even more excited because, again, this is what it's all about. In my opinion, this is what it's all about. That user experience, changing that, bringing in the adoption, and if we do it through a character that people actually enjoy, then that is the way, in my opinion. Because bottom line, it doesn't matter if it was a mouse or a rat or a puppy or whatever the heck that was chosen. The point is it stable? Does it work? Does it do what it says it was going to do? Yes, then you have a viable product. In the end of the day, it is, do you have a viable product? And I absolutely believe we absolutely do. And you'll see it.
Great answer. Thanks.
You're welcome.
So much for your question. And it's nice having you on the VC Grid, Bob. Okay, now let's our last person, Hussein Shah. Let's listen to you. You're allowed to speak. Hussein.
Hello, can you hear
Hello.
me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. So, may I ask question?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. My question is, what will be the benefits to the holders of Doge mechanized? So, and my second part of the question, I read your roadmap. There is a NFT mint and marketplace. My question is, what kind of NFT will you launch and on which platform? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you got it, Hussein. So, um, so let me actually answer the second part of your question first. So in terms of the mint, in terms of the marketplace, um, as mentioned, a lot of that is all typical, right? Everybody's trying to do that. The difference is that we're going to bake in those safety protocols that actually allow you, meaning as you could say the customer investor, to come in and mint your own product or buy our product, right? Meaning the things that are done, and in many cases, what you're going to end up seeing is in like bigger plans is a lot of that stuff is going to be the community. Now, just hear me out for a second, right? Let's say that you're the creator and you want to put your artwork out there but don't know how, right? That's our goal, to put that out there so that you can launch your stuff, right? So you can move forward with your artwork. And so it's bigger than this. Again, we're just starting with the baseline of the NFTs. As I mentioned, there's a lot of bigger things around that, but the bottom line is it's going to be centered around the fact that we will be creating NFTs and creating that framework so that eventually you as the creators can come and share your artwork, right? And the difference is going to be that in terms of how this is done, we actually don't have, I'm not going to tell you that we're going to be in a specific chain, because to inject liquidity and add value to our token, we will go across multi-chain, right? But the bottom line, that all comes back. And so the smart contracts that we're actually developing for this specific site. And again, I don't want to get into too much detail because again, this is a secret sauce, but it's going to allow us to go cross chain, right? Or multi-chain in the scenario. So it doesn't matter where we put it, because as you know, there's money in different level 1 marketplaces, whether it's Ethereum, whether it is AVAX, whether it is Solana. The point is we can use those to bring liquidity and inject liquidity into our projects. So the sky is the limit. The only limits is the ones that we put on ourselves, right? So if we sit there and say we can't do it, then we won't do it, right? But if you find the way, you will. And so that is what we've been doing. That's what we've been pushing towards, to get to the point where, and believe me when I say, when you look at what Dogechain is doing, they've literally opened those paths so that you can have that ability of bringing cross-chain money from, like, okay, one step back, right? This whole basis is that you take Dogecoin and you bring it in to Dogechain as a wrapped layer, right? Well, with that concept, that's the same thing. You're going to take Ethereum and now wrap it and bring it into Dogechain. You're going to take AVAX and wrap it and bring it into Dogechain. So the point is, you're not destroying the money on the Ethereum side. You're bringing in that liquidity and bring it over to the projects, right? So not many people are touching that, but we're going to go full force. Turn on the afterburners, because we're going to fly.
Well, thank you very much for answering. Best of luck for your project. Well done.
Thank you, Hussein. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for the question, Hussein. So, Star,
Yes, sir.
give us some final words and let us call it a day.
Sounds good.
Before you let him go, can you drop, because I'm looking at Dogechain's main Telegram, and I'm seeing so many fake ones. Can you drop, the original one if you happen to have it?
So,
I'm actually only in this I'm only in this VC, so I don't know what he meant by drop from the other one.
Oh no, Dogechain. Do you have like their main teaching for the Dogechain?
Oh yes, that's what he meant. Yes. I'll definitely provide that in the chat for you guys, so you guys take a look. I'll actually send you guys the Telegram for Dogechain as well as PandaSale, and YieldSwap, so you guys can take a look and just get familiar with them.
And last one, since many of us are not familiar how to bridge it, if you can drop the documentation, I would really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We actually in our Telegram, we actually posted a video that not our video, but someone in the community, in the Dogechain community, made a video that shows people how to do it. And I actually wanted to make our own, and then I saw this. I'm like, why would I reinvent the wheel? It's already there, right? So no worries. I'll send that to you guys in the next few minutes after we get off the call, and then you guys can investigate. Just know any questions that you have, just come to our chat. To put him in there. Absolutely, that's what it's there for. It's there for you guys to come in there and as a community have those discussions. So that's what that's what we're there for. No worries. There's no dumb questions. Just ask.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, and appreciate you guys listening and being here. And hopefully, you guys can join and participate in the sale. It'd be amazing to have you as investors. But if not, again, still join, because like I said, there's going to be community outreaches, and it may not be that you buy Mackenzie, but it may be that you win the prize. So just definitely come in and join. Oh, Tommy, what about the thing we mentioned, the 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 giveaway?
Uh, okay. Okay. We talked about giving out souvenirs, but we discussed on shipping and all, and it was way
Right.
above budget. So we decided on giving 50 BUSD for 5 best questions.
So no, actually, it was okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so possibly you pick three best questions that you feel were on top-notch best questions that you feel is okay. Then I will pick two from my side, and we can compile a list and send it over to you.
Yep. Sounds good. Yeah. So there was definitely some good ones in there. So yeah, let's compile that list, Tommy, and then once we select the winners, you just get the addresses, and we'll happily send them their fundage.
All right then, wonderful. Thank you very much.
No, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thank you for coming. Yeah.
Bye bye.